In this video, we will walk you through the process of initializing a contract by the District Contract Manager. This will be split between multiple videos. A contract will be passed from pre-construction to construction in the transition to construction process. Construction Division will initialize the contract and then notify District Contract Manager that the contract is ready for their initialization. Once a transitioned contract has been initialized by the Construction Division admin, it is ready to be initialized by the District Construction Manager. As a DCM, you should receive a notification or email stating that the contract has been initialized. Make sure you have selected the District Construction Manager role from the drop-down attached to the Home button. Navigate to Contract Administration under the Construction banner. Search for the contract by typing the contract ID in the search bar. Click on the contract ID blue link to open the contract. In the Contract Administration Summary component, the General tab displays information about the contract. Verify the contract ID field is correct based on the contract, contractor's name, and district. Verify the Prime Contractor ID field and the Prime Contractor Name field. If incorrect, contact pre-construction personnel to have contract corrected and retransitioned. Choose the district and residency responsible for this contract in the district/residency field if not already populated. Verify the State Project Number field, enter the State Project Number if missing or incorrect. Verify the Description field, type the contract description if missing or incorrect. This is a required field. Verify the Federal Project Number field. If missing or incorrect, enter the Federal Project Number. Make sure that the Contract Information section is maximized. If not, click the down arrow. Verify the Contract Type field. If missing or incorrect, click the drop-down arrow and select the contract type. This is a required field. Verify the awarded contract amount and the current contract amount fields. These should be equal and match the executed contract. If these are incorrect, contact the pre-construction staff to have proposal corrected and retransitioned. Verify the spec book field. If incorrect, contact the pre-construction staff to have proposal corrected and retransitioned. Verify the type of funding field. If missing or incorrect, choose the major type of funding on the contract. Choose both if it is federal and state funded. Verify the highway/route field. If incorrect or missing, enter the primary route or routes on which the contract work will take place. Click the Federal Oversight checkbox, if federal authorities must receive and approve any change orders for this contract. Verify the location field. If incorrect or missing, enter the location where the contract work is taking place, if needed. In the Construction Manager field, type in at least 3 characters to search and find the first or last name and choose the appropriate person. To search, start typing in the field or put your cursor in the field and hit enter. In the CERS section. In the On-Call Contract field, enter AY, if the contract is on call. In the Renewable Contract field, enter AY, if the contract is renewable. Verify that the claim field has an N. In the Area Construction Engineer field, type in at least 3 characters to search and find the first or last name and choose the appropriate person. To search, start typing in the field or put your cursor in the field and hit enter. Verify the projected expenditures equals the awarded contract amount. If not, please correct it. In the comments field, enter any additional information about the associated work. In the long description field, enter the detailed description of the contract. Click on the Save button to save the changes that you made. The Save button is active only when a change has been made. Now let's look at the other navigation tabs on the left. Click on the Additional Information tab and verify the proposal type field. If it is missing or incorrect, click the drop-down arrow and select the proposal type. Verify the contract work type field. If the field is missing or incorrect, click the drop-down arrow and select the kind of work to be performed. Verify if the call order number field is correct. If not, enter the correct call order number. In the progress schedule type, click the drop-down arrow and select the method used to track contract progress. Verify the schedule category field is correct or choose the correct category from the pull-down. In the time performance contract field, enter Y if the contract is time performance based, otherwise ensure it is N. In the stim fund field, enter Y if the contract is stimulus funded, otherwise ensure it is N. In the retainage number field, verify the retainage number is defaulted to 54701. In the bond type field, verify the value is correct. Verify the payee ID field. If not correct, choose AC from the drop-down. Verify the fuel adjustment indicator field. If incorrect, click the checkbox to indicate if there are any items on the contract that are fuel adjusted and the adjustments should be automatic or not. Verify the contract planned lane miles field and planned bridges field. Click the Save button to save any changes you have made. To add an administrative office, click the Administrative Offices tab. Review the administrative offices. If there is a need to add one, click on the Select Administrative Office button. Enter the search criteria for an administrative office in the Quick Finds search box or click Show First 10 button. Click the On the row for the office to add to the contract. Click on the Add to Contract button. Now, click the Expand arrow for the new office row. And in the Effective Date field, enter the date the office becomes effective. In the Status field, click the drop-down arrow and select the status of the office. In the Expiration Date field, enter the date that approval or effectiveness ends for the office, if appropriate. The Active field indicates whether the record is active or not, based on the effective and expiration dates in the Status field. And then save your changes by clicking on the Save button. Now to verify and add site time records to the contract, navigate to the Contract Times tab and under the Site Times section verify there is only one site time record 00DT or 01DT. Verify that the time description field matches the contract completion date. Click on the Time ID link for the main contract time. On the General tab, verify the original completion date field shows the original completion date for the contract time. If this doesn't match the contract, contact the pre-construction staff to correct and retransition the contract. Now to add unit and date information to a site time record, click on the Units and Dates tab. Verify that the original completion field and the current completion field matches the contract. Please correct if it doesn't match the contract. Also verify the time units field is days and click Save. If you wish to add rate and cap information to a site time record, click the Rates and Cap Amounts tab. Verify the liquidated damages rate field, enter the amount to be charged per day that the contractor exceeds the allowed time for a contract time record. Verify the liquidated damages unit field is days. If not, click the drop-down arrow and select days. In the liquidated damages cap amount field, enter the maximum liquidated damages or disincentive amount that can be withheld from the contractor for this time record if it is specified in the contract. Click the Save button. Now let's go back to the Contract Times tab in Contract Administration component to look at the informational times. You can do that by clicking on the previous button. Informational times contain the pertinent dates on a contract. Some dates are automatically created when the contract is transitioned from pre-construction. There are other dates that can be added depending on the type of contract and the stage at which the contract is being administered. To add informational time records to the contract. In the Informational section, click the expand arrow to maximize the section. Click on Select the Informational Time, S, to add dates. Select the dates you would like to add, click on Add to Contract button. Enter the information, actual date, or projected date, and in the comments field enter additional information of the person who initialized the contract in Construction Division. An actual date should be provided for the following date types. ADV, which is the advertisement date. Award DT, awarded date. Exec DT, execution date. LETD, letting date. PAJB, price adjustments base date, for fuel and price. NTPDT, notice to proceed date. WKBGNDT, work begin date, if known. For date type ESTC, which is the estimated completion date, the projected date field should be entered if not already projected. Click the Save button. Next is the DBE tab, enables you to view and maintain information related to the DBE goals for the contract. This data is used by civil rights and labor. To add or view contract DBE information, verify the DBE goal % field, WBE goal % field. The Training/Labor tab enables you to view and maintain information related to the training and labor goals for the contract. This data is used by civil rights and labor. In the Planned Trainee Hours field, enter the planned hours for trainees or hours on the contract. In the OJT Goal Units field, choose either trainees or hours from the drop-down. In the OJT Goal Comments field, enter any pertinent comments. Click the Save button. Next, let us look at the Funding Package tab, which enables you to view and maintain funding information for the contract. Review the funding packages, funding sources and funds associated with the contract. To see the total breakdown of all of the funding, click on one of the funds link in blue. Then, click on the Fund Package Assignment Quick link. This displays all of the projects and categories on the contracts and the assigned funding by package. In order to add funding information to a contract, navigate back to Contract Administration Summary by clicking the Funding Package Quick link on the top and then the Contract Administration Quick link. Click on the Funding Package tab, click the link under Funds to see the funds that are associated to this funding package. Verify the funds in the package by expanding the section for each fund by clicking the and make necessary changes. Save any changes that you make. Now let us go back to the Contract Administration component by clicking on the quick link. The Locations tab contains information related to where work will take place for all the projects in the contract, as defined in the project records. This information is view-only and cannot be changed in this tab. The data is entered when projects are entered. Review incorrect information, as needed. The county and district information comes from the Project Counties tab. The primary district ID comes from the District/Residency on the Contract General tab. The Insurance or Bonding tab on the Contract Administration Summary component contains an accordion list of all the insurance policies on record for the contract's prime contractor. Review the insurance and vendors associated with the contract. Contact Construction Division if these are not correct based on the executed contract. And click the Save button. Now to verify a contract price adjustment index on a contract. Click Contract Progress quick link on the top of the screen. From the General tab, click the Component Actions menu and click the Contract Price Adjustment Index link. Review the price index type for each entry to verify that all fuel indices have been added. If any fuel indices are missing, click on the New button and search for the required one in the quick search box and click on it and save any changes by clicking on the Save button. This concludes the first video for contract initialization by the DCM. In the next video we will walk you through the process of adding contract projects, contract categories, and assigning contract authorities. In this video we will continue with the DCM initialization and walk you through the process of reviewing contract projects, categories, and assigning contract authority. Navigate to the Contract Administration component on the dashboard, and select the appropriate contract. Now click the Projects quick link on the top. Select a project from the list. Verify the project spec book field matches the specification book year in the contract. Verify the unit system field. If incorrect, click the drop-down arrow and select the system of measurement used for item quantities, either English or metric. Verify the project description field. Verify the controlling project checkbox is checked if this is the controlling project in a contract that contains multiple projects or the only project on the contract. Verify the lane miles planned field. In the lane miles as a field, enter the date the lane miles planned was updated on this screen. Verify the FHWA 534 field. If incorrect, enter the data if it is a federally funded contract. In the bids project type field, enter the type. Verify the schedule ID field. If missing, enter the ID if the contract is a maintenance schedule contract. Verify the pavement type field. If field is missing or incorrect, enter the type if it is a contract containing pavement. In the STIM fund field, enter the code, if appropriate. Verify the federal project number field. If field is missing or incorrect, enter the project number assigned by the federal government. In the state project number field, if field is missing or incorrect, enter the project number assigned by the state government. In the UPC number field, if field is missing or incorrect, enter the UPC number with leading zeros for a length of 8. Verify the project urban/rural field. Click the drop-down arrow and select the appropriate indicator of the population density in the area where the work is to be performed for the project. Verify the object code/account field. If missing, enter the code 2321 or 2323 based on whether bridge/drainage structure, 2321, or non-bridge/road, 2323. Verify the job/crew field. If missing, enter the job for construction contract or crew for maintenance contract from the pull-down. Verify the primary county field. If incorrect, it needs to be updated on the County tab. Verify the primary district field. If incorrect, it needs to be updated on the District tab. Verify the city/county code field. If the field is missing or incorrect, enter the data by choosing a value from the drop-down. Verify the project location field. If the field is missing or incorrect, enter the location where the project work is taking place. Verify the project type field. If the field is missing or incorrect, click the drop-down arrow and select the value that indicates the type of project. Verify the Project Fed Oversight Indicator checkbox to indicate that federal authorities must receive and approve any change orders for this contract project. Check, if applicable. Verify the Project State Oversight Indicator checkbox if local authorities must receive and approve any change orders for the contract project. Click, if applicable. Verify the Project Work Type field. If the field is missing or incorrect, click the drop-down arrow and select the kind of work to be performed in this project. Click the Save button. Repeat this for all the projects on the contract. Now we will look into reviewing contract project categories. Let us go to the project summary screen by clicking on the blue link. Click the Categories tab. Choose Category by expanding the section. If this category is on a bridge project, type in the structure number in the Federal Structure ID field. This is only required for a category that is on a bridge project. Verify the Category Work Class field, add the 3-digit numeric activity code, 631 or 731, by choosing from the drop-down. In the Maintenance Activity field, verify or enter in the activity if this is a maintenance contract. This is only required if this is a maintenance contract. Verify the Asset Type field. If this field is empty and this is a maintenance contract, enter the type. This is only required if this is a maintenance contract. If this contract has betterment funding, expand the Project Betterment section and enter the participating betterment activity, participating betterment percent, non-participating betterment activity and the non-participating betterment percent fields. Click the Save button. Repeat the steps above for all categories on this project and all projects. Now let us look at maintaining and assigning contract authorities. Navigate to Contract Administration Overview by clicking on the quick link on the top. Contract Authority works in conjunction with other security features to give users the authority to access and change contract information. The Contract Authority tab contains all the contract authority information that has been recorded for this contract, listed by person. Contract authority will be available for roles higher than inspector. A DCM is able to assign contract authority to the users. To add information on the contract-specific Contract Authority tab. In the Contract-specific Contract Authority section, click the New button. In the Person field, enter the ID of the person for whom you are assigning contract authority. To search, start typing or place cursor in field and press the Enter key. In the Role field, enter the role of the person for whom you are assigning contract authority. To search, start typing or place cursor in field and press the Enter key. In the Effective Date field, enter the date the contract authority becomes effective for the person. In the Expiration Date field, enter the date the contract authority ends for the person. In the Status field, click the drop-down arrow and select the status for the record. Review the information closely. Once this record is saved, it cannot be modified. This record would have to be expired and a new record created for changes to occur. Click the Save button. Office-wide contract authority section contains a list of all the office-wide contract authorities in the system that would include this contract, listed by person. The information in this list is view-only and cannot be changed. You can also grant contract authority to multiple users. Navigate to the dashboard by clicking on the Home button. Navigate to contract-specific authorities under the Construction component. Click the Add Users to a Contract button. In the Contract field, click on the field and select the contract. Select Status, Effective Date, and Expiration Date, if applicable. Click the row to select users from the list, or use the Quick Find search box to search for users. The system adds a check mark beside your selection and shades the row. To cancel a selection, click the row again. Click the Add to Contract Specific Authorities button. Click the Save button. You can also grant multiple contract authorities to a single user by clicking on the Add Contracts to a User button. Click in the User Role field and select the role. Select Status, Effective Date, and Expiration Date, if applicable. Click the row to select multiple contracts from the list or use the Quick Find search box to search for contracts. Click the Add to Contract Specific Authorities button. Click on the Save button. So this way you can grant contract authority to multiple users or add multiple users to a contract. This is the end of the second video in the Contract Initialization by DCM series. In the next video we will look into how a DCM can activate a contract. This video we will walk you through the process of executing the Contract Validation plugin. From the dashboard, click on the Global Actions drop-down on the top left. Select Execute Process. Choose the plugin with the name vcon_plugin_validate contract. Select Data on tab 2 of 4 by typing in the partial contract ID. Click on Execute. The plugin will be initiated and home screen for plugin will be displayed with some information about the contract. Click on the Validate Contract button at the bottom. Please review and correct any error messages. Rerun the Validations plugin after the errors are fixed. In this video we will walk you through the process of activating a contract. As a DCM, from the Construction component, click on the Contract Administration link. Enter the contract in the search criteria. Click the contract link, in blue, for the contract ID. From the Contract Administration summary screen, click on the Contract Times tab. Click on the Time ID link on the main contract time. On the Contract Time Summary/General tab, enter the effective date. Make sure it is the date the time charges start. In the Status field, select Active from the drop-down. Click on Units and Dates tab. In the Start Time field, enter the time charges start date. Save your changes. Click on the Contracts quick link. Search for and select the contract to activate. Click the Component Actions button and select Activate. The system displays a confirmation message that the contract was successfully activated and sets the contract status to active. We can also check the status of the contract by going to the dashboard and clicking on the Contract Administration link under the Construction component. Search for the contract and the status on the right will show as active. When a contract is activated, an email notification is sent out to the project manager, construction division contract admin and inspectors on the contract that the contract has been activated and is ready for their use. In this video we will walk you through the process of changing the contract status from active to pending. The contract activation process can only be set back to pending before a daily work report is completed. To deactivate a contract and set to pending, from the construction component, select the Contract Administration link. Search for and select the contract to deactivate. Click the Row Actions drop-down on the right and select Change to Pending. This puts the contract to pending status. The status column on the right shows pending. This is how a contract's status can be changed from active to pending. In this video we will talk about adding milestones to contracts. Milestones can be added to the contract as a contract completion date. Some of the fields and values may be different depending on the type of time selected. Let us look into adding dashboard project delivery milestones. Under the construction component, click on Contract Administration Summary. Search for and select the contract. Now click on the Contract Times tab. To add site time records to the contract for dashboard project delivery milestone, in the Site Times section, click the Select Site Times button. Search for and select the site time to add that says Dashboard Project Deliv. Click the Add to Contract Times button. Click the Save button. Ignore the warning about adding dates. Click the Time ID link to open the record. In the time description field, enter the milestone description and be specific. Please note that this description is what the public will see on dashboard, so the description will need to be as understandable as possible for the public to comprehend. In the agency type field, select Dashboard, Dashboard Project Delivery Milestone. In the comments field, enter additional information that describes the type of dashboard project delivery milestone. The original completion date field shows the original completion date for the contract time. This data will be blank until it is entered on the next tab. The record source field identifies where the record was created, whether in the construction component, or transitioned from ASH to where project pre-construction. The value should be construction for an added contract. The Delete Allowed checkbox should not be checked. And in the Required For section, click Neither Radio button. Click the Save button. Now let us look at adding site time units and dates. Click on the Units and Dates tab. In the Start Time field, enter the date time charges start on this milestone. In the Time Units field, click the drop-down arrow and select the unit of days. In the Original Completion field, enter the date the contract should be completed based on the contract. The Current Completion field will automatically populate to match the original completion. This will happen once you save your changes. Click the Save button. We can go back to Contract Times tab in Contract Administrative Summary to see the new record for contract milestone. In this video we will walk you through the process of creating a contract progress schedule. It enables you to create a schedule by which the system can automatically monitor the progress of a contract based on the agency's notice to proceed date and the actual completion date recorded in contract time. Depending on the type of schedule selected, you can track the % of work complete for designated time periods, the % of critical items completed for designated time periods, or % of work complete only on the final day or date. From the dashboard, navigate to Contract Progress under the Construction component. Search for and select the contract. On the Contract Progress Summary page, click on the Progress Schedule tab. It allows you to create a schedule by which the system can automatically monitor the progress of a contract based on the agency's notice to proceed date and the actual completion date recorded in contract time. In the Progress Schedule Type field, click the drop-down arrow and select the method used to track contract progress, Critical Path Method, % complete for a time period, or % of critical items complete. In the Progress Schedule Projections section, enter a value for the first time period in either the Scheduled Date field for the fixed date contract type. If you enter a date, the system calculates the number of days and populates the Scheduled Days field. In the Projected PCTCMPL field, enter the percentage you expect to be completed in this time period. If the schedule type is % complete for a time period, this is the percentage of work you expect to be completed. If the schedule type is % of critical items complete, this is the percentage of critical items you expect to be completed. Tab to the next row and enter information for the second time period, as you did earlier for the first time period. Continue to add rows for all time periods you want in your schedule. Note, if you are using the Critical Path Method schedule type, you will record only one time period row, with SCHED time and SCHEDDT representing the final time period of the contract. Click on Save to save the changes you made. A Save Complete banner shows on the screen. As you can see, a record is created under Progress Schedule Actuals to date with the calculated number of scheduled days and actual % complete. In this video we will walk you through the process of adding a subcontract and subcontract items. A subcontract is a contract between the prime contractor on an agency contract and a third party. The subcontract assigns part of the work in the original contract to the third party. You can divide subcontracts into items and define subcontracted quantities. Each subcontract item can have a partial item percentage applied to it, which indicates that the subcontractor will perform only part of the item work. Navigate to Contract Administration under the Construction component. Search for and select the contract that you would like to add a subcontract to. On the Contract Administration Summary page, click on the Subcontracts quick link on the top. The Subcontract Overview page contains two components that provide information about the contract and associated subcontracts. The Contract component at the top of the Subcontract Overview page displays information about the prime vendor for the selected contract. The Subcontract component at the bottom of the page displays information about associated subcontracts. On the Contract component, you can view, but not change, information in the following fields: Total calculated subcontract amount, non-specialty. Total allowable maximum subcontract percent, non-specialty. Total towards maximum subcontract percent, non-specialty. Total specialty subcontract percent. Total calculated subcontract item extended amount, non-specialty. Total allowable maximum subcontract amount, non-specialty. Total towards maximum subcontract amount, non-specialty. Total specialty subcontract amount. Now, on the Subcontract component, click the Component Actions button and click on the Add action. In the Subcontract Number field, enter the identification number for the subcontract. Use leading zeros to ensure proper sorting. For example 001 or 002. In the Vendor field, enter the vendor number or partial name that was selected to work on the contract. In the Subcontract Type field, click the drop-down arrow and select the subcontract type. Click the Use Approved Vendor Work Classes checkbox if the subcontract work class assigned must be an approved work class code. In the Work Classifications Name field, click the drop-down arrow and select the work classification for the subcontract. In the Approval Date field, enter the date the subcontract was approved by the agency. Click the Trucker checkbox if this subcontractor provides trucking/hauler services for the contract. Click the Supplier checkbox if this vendor is a supplier for the contract. Click the Save button to save all the changes. Now let us look into adding items to a subcontract. The Items tab of the Subcontract Summary component contains all of the item information for the selected subcontract. Click the Items tab on the left. Click on the Select Items button. Search for and select the items to add to the subcontract. Multiple items can be selected. A green check will appear next to each item you select. You can click again to deselect an item. Once all items are selected, click the Add to Subcontract button. Expand the row by clicking on the arrow to enter information for each new subcontract item. In the Quantity field, enter the number of units of the item to be included on this subcontract. It is defaulted to the total bid quantity, so edit if this is a partial item. In the Unit Price field, enter the unit price for the item as bid by the prime contractor. It is defaulted to the bid price. In the Comments field, enter any additional information. The Project Item Splits field indicates whether this item has been divided across projects or by funding. This needs to be repeated for each new subcontract item. Make sure you save your changes by clicking on the Save button. You can also add subcontract items with partial quantity that will be split between two subcontractors. You can do so by adding partial quantities for the items on the subcontracts. This concludes the video for subcontracts and subcontract items.